Hey guys, how you doing? Let's change this track. What do you think about my holiday festive outfit?
So this is Christmas, and what have you done? Another year over,
All right, we got the man on.
and you won't just begun. And so this is Christmas.
Yo, what's up?
Hey man, what's going on?
I dressed up for you.
I lost audio for a second. Dude,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I got you.
All right, so I can hear you perfectly. Everything sounds great. And obviously, our faces get cut off.
Yeah, I went to my brother-in-law's house. He lives 2 houses down. His internet connection is way better than mine. So,
Hey, that's perfect. Looking good, man. Looking good. Looking like you just came out of a shower.
I'm rocking my best Seahawks hoodie for you.
Nice. So, guys, welcome aboard. We got 23 people or so live right now joining in. I'm sure more will join as we go. And this is a holiday toast, Instagram Live, tonight's Poison Live with the one and only Brian. BookersBrye. He is looked on upon for a lot of things, man. I don't know. Whiskey reviews, nagging your wife, comedy, cute kids, hopefully breaking glasses. Some people even wish you cut off a finger because you chopped some swords with some swords and stuff like that. But you know what? We're gonna get into all that stuff later. Let's get it. Let's have a dram, man. Right? That's what we're here for, right?
Sounds good. And you know what? I was nervous all week. You're telling me we're doing this Instagram Live thing, and I thought you meant it was like live TV. Like when you fuck up, you can't do that. But obviously, Instagram Live, you can edit it. You can do whatever you want. You can just kind of put out the best version, right? That's what we're doing. I mean, it's not like live, like TV live.
Yeah, we'll take care of that. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I'll put an edited version tomorrow, completely unedited.
Dude, I expect tens of people to be watching this tonight.
So what you got there? What you got there? What are we drinking?
Dude, let's roll with some Michter's toasted barrel.
I wonder if I have that here. All right, let's do it. Let's do a double whammy. Is it cracked open yet?
No, I'm cracking it right now.
Oh, look at that. We're gonna crack this virgin.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Ooh, love that sound in stereo. What's the glass you're pouring in? Okay. Is it logo glass? Is it clean glass? What is it? Plain
Come
glass?
on, man. What glass?
Ah, look at that. Gee, that's like the first edition. I got my boy Denver's glass, just you can nose and sip out of it at the same time.
Hey, I've actually got a little story about how I got this bottle.
Yeah, please. Let's do a little cheers.
Yeah.
Live air cheers. Sip, and I would love to hear the story. Go for it. Whiskey Rebel says I'm here for the gangbang.
Yeah, so is glass of whiskey 86. All right, so speaking of glass of whiskey 86, he's the reason I have this bottle. He reached out to me pre-Black Friday, and he gave me the heads up on an online deal. I've been looking for this bottle for some time, and there was actually a 2-for-1 special. It was this bottle and a Knob Creek single barrel, one of those 120 proof ones. Particularly the price that this bottle goes for on the secondary market.
Okay.
So I jumped on that, and it was a place in California, offered free shipping. Had I lived in California, it would have been an even better deal, because if you showed up in store to pick it up, there was 4 or 5 employees in back ready to give you hand jobs before you leave. And I would really like to have taken them up on that, but I don't live in California, so.
So the question is, why didn't you?
Probably would have been worth the flight.
Would that count as a Mile High Club?
I mean, it would count as divorce, I believe.
Oh man, this is delicious.
So we got Spirited Beard, we got Rebs, Flask and Pen coming in from China. Nice. Whiskey Baron. How you doing? Whiskey from a motorcycle. Oh, we got 45 people in here right now. I'm trying to break a tonight's Poison record here.
Baba Booey.
All right. Non-chill. Lady Twin, how you doing? That is true. I have always said nobody likes hand jobs, and that is legitimate. It's really not the best.
Question is one of us, hopefully you, gonna strip tonight?
I mean, let's see how many things we get into. And that might have been enjoyable for some 4 or 5 months ago. I got my winter weight on right now.
Yeah, I got a sweater on, so.
All right. I'm interested to know. I'm not like super pretentious about my whiskey or whatever, but I don't always pick up on all the notes that everybody else does. But what do you get here with this one?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
As far as the aromas goes, it's quite light. You know, definitely you could sense that, you know, some sort of toasted barrel nest to it because you obviously get that caramel and that vanilla. Almost get like a little bit of a fresh, you know, bread, you know, coming out of the oven, like, you know, fresh dough. Which that's usually similar to something with toasted barrels and things like that. So that's my take on it.
I don't always pick up on everything that everybody else does. I hear people talk about like, oh, fresh cut grass or whatever. I'm like, what kind of life are you living? You going outside and picking up grass and eating it? I don't even know how to pick up on grass. But this one I get basically typical notes that you get with a bourbon. Some vanilla, some maybe brown sugar, and a little bit of oak, but not like.
Wait, is that my new nickname? Brown sugar, since I'm Indian?
I mean, it can be. And I get a little bit of the oakiness, but not like overbearing. Like if you're like 12 or 13 years old and your friends say, hey, meet me out at the cemetery. And you go out there and it's pitch black and you're looking for them. You don't see them, but you see an empty hole in the ground. So you walk up to it, you look over, and there's a box. And then you hear your friends and they push you in and they close the lid. And you're like panicking. You're clawing at the box and you get those oak shavings that fall in your mouth. It's not like that much oak. It's just like normal amount of oak.
How do you do it so seriously with a serious face? You're a brilliant actor. You're certainly a better actor than the guy in the Avengers who looks like you.
I think we've established that I am the guy in the Hawkeye, you mean?
Yeah.
But I'm telling stories about my life, so it's kind of easy to keep a straight face.
Yeah.
Dude, that sweater is so legit. I'm loving that right now.
Fresh off the rack, man. Fresh off the rack.
I should have done more. I didn't know you were.
You know, I thought it was like for me, it was like, okay, tonight's gonna be the night that I want to have people who have sense of humor, like incredible sense of humor. So, you know what? I wanted to play off my sense of humor, and I wore this. You know, normally I'm wearing my normal gear, but this is what I wanted to do.
All right, we got RP 24 in the house. Hawkeye, yeah. And guys, throughout the evening, you have any questions or anything for me or Jazz? Just throw them out there, and we'll try to keep an eye on it and answer some questions that you've got. You know, obviously, a big part of my page is interacting with all of you. So, throw anything out there. I'm ready.
Yeah. So, I would like to know: has anybody tried this? And what are your thoughts? What are your opinions? Have you tried the pre-releases? Now, I know this one was discontinued for a while, and then they brought it back again because there was such a high demand for it. And just refreshing my memory on this one as far as what the story was behind it, just to share a little technicalities on it. Basically, what they do is it's obviously a toasted barrel finished bourbon, but I lost my train of my thought here. They age it for an additional period, basically, in a custom-made barrel. And the secondary barrel that they age it in is for basically that barrel is 18 months air dried, and then it's toasted, not charred. And that's the reason why it's called what it's called, and that's why it gives it a very unique finish. There's nothing like any other mixtures does not taste like this. So it's very unique. It's very delicious, and everybody I've seen have it just falls in love with it like instantly. And that's the reason the demand is so high for it when it does come out, you know, once a year or whenever they do come out with it.
Yeah, their toasted barrel rye is one of my favorite ryes. I had a bottle of that. It's empty, and I got to replace that one. That's a good one. Compared to their regular cast strength rye, I don't even think it's close. The toasted barrel one blows it away, in my opinion.
Yeah. So what else you got, man? What else is going on? What's going on for the holidays?
Holidays, you know me. I've got two little dudes. We got a lot of family stuff. You know, grandparents, Christmas Eve, do this thing at our house. We do Christmas breakfast, and then I go to my parents for Christmas dinner. It's just a whole family thing, and I imagine it's similar for you. What do you got?
Yeah, usually it's friends, family, and just a lot of partying and a lot of drinking and a lot of cracking open bottles and a lot of empty bottles that I will send over to Hoarte, Hooarte. He takes empty bottles and he designs things out of them. Makes planters out of them, makes lamps out of them, makes shot glasses out of them, makes rocks glasses out of them. So, we rather than throw them out here to recycle, I just ship it to him. Cost me shipping, but listen, it does him, advantage to basically make art out of it, and then he makes a living off of it. So why not pay it forward, right? You gotta pay it forward. Keep paying that whiskey forward. Keep sharing it. Once it's empty, keep paying it forward, and make somebody happy.
18 glass he made was awesome, and then the lamp I saw in the other video, that was pretty cool. Yeah,
that guy's incredible. And he reached out to me, and he's easy to work with. So it's incredible stuff. So are we gonna be doing some sort of a giveaway? You got any items to do giveaways with, or what?
Of course we're gonna do a giveaway. We got tens of people watching right now.
What you got?
I'll do start off with, maybe we'll do two giveaways. Start off with do a 2-ounce sample of this. Anybody in the US, I could ship a 2-ounce sample of this to. If you're international and you get it, I'm creative. I'll come up with something to give you. So I know this toasted barrel, a lot of people want to try it, and I was lucky enough to get my hands on it thanks to Tony. So I'll share it. So got a trivia question for the peeps. Let's do, and this means you don't have to be with me for a long time, but it means you had to have spent some time scrolling down my page and watching some of my stuff.
Wait, hold up before you continue.
Mm-hmm.
How are people going to answer this? Are they going to answer it here and the first person to get it right, or are we going to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure.
Yeah, let's do that. So first person to put the correct answer. All right. So one of my very first whiskey reviews, I did Hibiki 12, and you know my style. It's not the stereotypical review. I mentioned that I picked up on a certain tasting note. It was an animal, and it was roasted. If you can tell me the animal that was roasted, I'm going to mail you the 2-ounce sample.
I have something which comes to my mind, but obviously I can't participate in this. So, but once we get the right answer, I want to see if it's the right one.
Not a cheater. Oh, non-chill with the right answer.
Non-chill roasted squirrel. That was quick.
Squirrel, and Ray was not far behind. Squirrels as well. Squirrels. Look at you people paying attention. That's what I'm talking about.
Possum.
And I should have known she would get it. Of course. Nice. Sliders. I know you watch that video. Nice. You can tell my people are in here.
Yeah, non-chill filter. Please DM Brian, and we'll basically get the gift out to you. And also DM me. I'll send you out a tonight's poison pin. So just put in there for the pin, and I'll give me your address, and I'll mail you the pin.
Looks like
man.
Got it as well. Nice. Got
Squirrels in the attic.
And in with a comment about animals in the attic. Nice.
I just wanted to say cat piss a lot. I knew people who would slam the answers. Roasted squirrel nuts. This is getting crazy.
Yeah, I believe cat piss was in that review, but the roasted animal was definitely the squirrel.
Simply in the flavor says, I'm too scared from the most recent Japanese review to even process.
I mean, hey, I've had, geez, I probably had 1,000 or 1,500 followers when I made that review. So I picked up about 6,000 followers since then. If you guys don't mind, go back, watch some of those earlier videos. Some of them are worth watching. I mean,
you should do, the TBT stuff on Thursdays, and then repost some of those, because sometimes I'm going to try to find the right one. You know what it looks like and exactly which one it is, but people trying to figure it out. So maybe do TBTs sometimes and just throw back the classics,
See, you guys are all familiar with that. This is my first social media experience ever. 37 years old, the first time I ever got on social media. I've never been on Facebook, MySpace, nothing. this is it. So all this Throwback Thursday stuff, and I see you guys posting it, so I kind of know what it is, but I didn't.
Are you a New Jersey boy? You grew up in New Jersey?
I did South Jersey. I mean, like 5 different cities, towns around South Jersey, whether it be, Northfield, EHT.
So let me ask you this. Did you have a walkie-talkie with your neighborhood friend?
Walkie-talkie with, what do you mean?
Did you have a walkie-talkie and a buddy across the street had a walkie-talkie and you guys communicated like that?
I mean, I was born in 81, so yeah, walkie-talkies were kind of...
That was social media back then.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's old school media. Yeah. Well, I guess I was on it.
You see where I was leading up to, huh? Look at that.
What do we got in the comments here? Anybody got any questions for us? Either of us? Who do you got? Flash, thanks for joining in from China. Crazy Nas in the house. Nice.
Thank you. That's an ugly sweater for sure.
Why
Yes.
a Seahawks fan? All right, I'll give you a little bit of why a Seahawks fan. So I was 12 years old. I'm loyal as shit. So I was a little 12-year-old kid. I'm watching Steve Largent highlights. He's a white dude catching passes, and I'm like, I could be that guy. And I fell in love with him, and I've stuck with the Seahawks ever since. I suffered forever, and now they're finally decent. So.
Non-chill filtered, you were the winner, right? So I'm going to guarantee you some sort of nudity later on. You just got to wait till the end. It's going to be the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, Jazz, sorry, man, I keep mispronouncing your name.
Yeah, Jazz, good.
Hey, you're going to be taking off that sweater by the end, so that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely, because I'm starting to get hot with that whiskey, So I'll be doing it. I'll definitely be doing it, but we're going to figure it out. Let's see. So somebody asked, what's our picks for 2018, our favorite whiskeys? That is so tough, right?
Yeah, it always is, because I've got, you know what? I watched your Scotch Test Dummies video, and I am so on the same page with Bart. That double single is one of my favorites. Really enjoy the double single. I have the 2017 Macallan Classic Cut, and it's not as good as the cast strengths. I know this because Scotch Whispers got his sample from you, and that stuff is unbelievable. But I like the Macallan Classic Cut from 2017. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed batch 1 of Kentucky Owl Rye. That was really nice. Trying to think of, I always like Lock, Stock, 13.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. Talk about that briefly if you can, without geeking out too much about it. A lot of people don't know about that brand. That doesn't even, they don't know it exists. So
that is kind of local to this area.
Yeah.
The Lock, Stock 16, you can get it. It retails for around 140, 139. The 13 is like in the 110-ish range. I think they're both worth money. I think I actually prefer the 13 over the 16. It's one of those high proof ryes that you get a little bit of mint with, but you get that rye spice, you get the proof kicks in. It's just kind of in my wheelhouse, like the Whistle Pig single barrels and all those. I think I know. I don't know the complete story. You might actually be able to fill them in better. I know the gentleman passed away from the distillery, and there is more story behind there, and I honestly don't have it. I just enjoy the product.
Yeah, I don't know the story behind that brand too much either, but yeah, it's phenomenal product. You're absolutely right.
And another one, it just flashed in my head for a second that I tried this year that was really enjoyable was well, it'll come to me. What are you liking this year? I'll go off of you and then see if I can.
So it's really difficult, right? It's really difficult when you're into whiskey and you're surrounded by it. I'm surrounded by it for business, and I'm surrounded by it personally with you guys, and you guys all inspire me. Everybody on here, and Brian, you just buy more shit. So it's really tough to make that type of decision. But you know what? If I had to pick, I would say my pick. No, just kidding. No.
That is.
What I would say for American, I have to go with this. I mean, this is phenomenal. What we're drinking today is just amazing. It's phenomenal. Michter's Toasted Barrel. I mean, anything Michter's is good, right? I love the rye. I love all of them, but that's my pick for that. For a blended, I would definitely go with Not the story of the Spaniard, but the original Spaniard from Compass Box.
Okay.
That is a phenomenal product. Very limited. Only 360 bottles were made for an amazing bar out of New York. If you scroll through my post, you'll see the story about it. The owner's cool as hell, man. It's a very chilled out place. And I really, really like this one. And for a single malt, I would say the single malt for gifting of the year, if you could still find it on the shelves, which I know you can still, but they did a really good job with this. The Macallan Edition 4.
Oh,
Macallan Edition 4 is phenomenal for me. I absolutely love it. And in the Japanese, obviously, I would go with the barrel. Nika from the barrel.
I really enjoy Nika from the barrel, but it's not my favorite Japanese. Actually, I love Hibiki 12. If you pay attention to my page at all, I love Hibiki 12. Prefer the 17-year any day. I like the Yama 12, the Hibushu 12, all the 12s, the Nika 12. But maybe my favorite is kind of not on people's radar. It's Ichiro's on the way.
Yeah.
2013 bottling. They only released 2,000 bottles in the U.S., and I was fortunate enough to pick up 3 of them. And I'm down to my last one, and it's higher proof. I forget what the proof is, but it's in the 110s. And that one is really enjoyable. Come on, man. I'm going to pull this off.
So while he's doing an act, I'm going to do another act. And I'm naked.
Oh.
Ugly t-shirt underneath the ugly sweater.
Anybody got any questions coming in? What do we got? You can keep talking, man. I can handle this.
I'm watching the questions roll through. People are cracking up on the sweater, and at the same time, they're watching very carefully your balancing act right there, and you're doing a good job. But guys, now you see this. This is live. This is not take 200. This is live right now, and he's doing his thing. Send positive vibes his way. Yeah, my nipple game is on point for sure. Absolutely. Should I distract Brian with my nipple?
I'm in.
Honestly, this is like an Oreo none of us knew we wanted.
I tell you, this balancing thing, I don't even remember exactly how it started. I think Scotch and Sniff, I think he's actually the guy I should credit for this, because I think I saw a few of his posts and he did some balancing things, and it kind of inspired me to give it a try. And I'm somebody that's pretty nervous and has shaky hands, so it's kind of surprising that I end up doing
Yeah. So somebody said, name a bottle that you're waiting for to open on a special occasion. That's pretty easy. So I would say this bad boy. This doesn't open up any night. It's got to be a special occasion, right?
Dude, I'm with you. I've had that bottle. I have 2 bottles that I've been sitting on for a year and a half. The Yama 18 is one, and the Hibiki 21. I bought those.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. My all-time favorite blended is the original Johnny Walker Gold, which used to be the original 18, not the Reserve, which came out now. This is by far my favorite blended Scotch to drink. This is the original, was discontinued 6-7 years ago. It is legit. It is amazing. It is phenomenal. Put it in the freezer, bring it out, have it with dessert or after dinner drink. It is just unbelievable. And if you guys go back to my Instagram live with Drinking Caveman Charles, we talked a lot about Johnny Walker and the history. I talked a little bit more about why that's so phenomenal. It's on my YouTube. By the way, those of you guys watching, this video here will be saved, and it'll be eventually on my YouTube channel, hopefully next week or so, probably by Christmas, hopefully. And although it's odd as far as the frame size goes, but still the information is there, and the artwork of Brian working slowly to do this is there.
Yeah, people don't realize how painstaking this is sometimes. I practiced this before we did this, and it didn't take this long, of course. But
well, there's a lot of distractions right now.
All right, so a couple of holiday bottles that I've had in the past. I always try to open something a little special, and I'm sure you do the same thing. High West Midwinter's Night Dram I did last Thanksgiving for the first time.
Amazing.
Really with that. And one that I know you're into. Last Christmas, my brother-in-law opened his Glenmorangie Signet.
Nice.
Love that. I think that's the absolute perfect after a holiday dinner. Just have one glass. I feel like it's a little too rich to have more than one glass, but I think it's the perfect one glass after holiday dinner drink.
That's nice. Oh, I got a rye pick for you too. This rye really surprised me. I mean, I tried the product and I liked it. And then I met the people behind it and the story and I loved it even more.
Yeah. I've got that. I've got
Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
And he's a good dude too, Travis.
Travis is an amazing dude.
Yeah,
Let me read through the comments while you do this. I drink Brian's sweat after dinner. Glass of whiskey. Chelsea, come help with some tape. Okay.
Yeah, I get a lot of comments that my stuff's faked, so
it's not. Yeah, as you can see.
It is never faked, never aided by anything other than luck.
Yeah. Katie says, what special occasion would you open that special bottle for? I would say when I see somebody doing a yoga pose and drinking.
Tell you what, I caught that on the beginning of your live feed there. That was that might have been the most entertaining minute of that whole stream. That was pretty.
Yeah,
good.
it was improv at its best. That's the beauty about being in one location and doing a live, because then you can invite other people to come in.
Speaking of that, while I'm getting frustrated here, that dude that you had on with Gene when you were doing Taste the Dram and you were inviting people in, the guy with the kingdom.
Kingdom. You were in. You were in his kingdom. You were there.
One of your live things. He was amazing.
I'll send you his links. He sent me some links for his books and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was talking about all kinds of stuff. It was cracking me up.
Yeah. So, those of you guys watching, Brian actually has brother-in-law's house. So, because of that, you're not going to have his wife make an appearance, unfortunately. So, people are asking about that.
She was going to show up. She was going to say hi. I know a lot of you are disappointed just to see my mug here. But, damn.
So, do you have any extravaganza?
I do. You want to get into that? Because I just finished my...
Yeah, I'm going to start talking about it while you do that, all right?
Yeah.
So, Compass Box Extravaganza, one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. Top 10, I would say. And, Brian, I'll tell you the story, saw or heard that I had posted something somewhere and had a conversation with him that I have this beauty, but unfortunately it's sealed because I have one and it will remain sealed. Because when I have one, I usually leave it as a collection. So this guy here was so kind and he sent me not one, but 2 samples of it. So guess what, guys? We're going to drink one and one's going to be the giveaway to pay it forward.
Nice.
Eventually we'll get into the question about it. Yeah, that's the beautiful bottle. And then what I did recently is I was at Whiskey Fest, and of course John Glazer was there. He signed my carton with John Glazer, his signature's on here, which is nice.
That's cool. I hear he's a pretty good dude too.
Yeah, he's really good. So he was a wine geek, and he wanted to be a winemaker. And he got into this business. He was with Diageo, making Johnny Walker stuff. And then eventually, he had a passion about whiskey. Go ahead.
I got one more thing I'm going to try to pull off for you here. Got a little orange ball.
What's that?
I got a little orange ball. Going to try to toss it in this guy while that's still standing there.
Okay.
Just live, son. I only get one shot.
Hey, Amen.
Woo! That's how real this shit is, folks.
You threw it right here.
Nice. You got the gummy bear. And doesn't always work. That's why You wouldn't believe how many
But it's
takes-
real. It's reality. That's life.
Yeah, I go through so many takes on some of my stuff. I'm just the kind of person that's so neurotic. I have to do it until it works. But here's what I got tonight. So I used your glass for the first tasting. I figured we might go through about 4 things. This is the second glass. I've got
Oh, yeah. Good dude.
barrel raised here. Ben, great in the community. He sent me 2 glasses, specifically wanted me to destroy one for one of my videos. I used a Chinese throwing star. You can scroll back on my page and watch that one if you want. I destroyed his glasses with this. So thank you, Ben, for that. And I've got 2 more personalized glasses that people sent me that I'll go through a little bit later.
Very cool. Let's, so you have extravaganza in there now?
Oh, man. I got to tell you, this is my 4th open bottle of Spice Tree Extravaganza. And I have 2 more unopened. My brother-in-law and I do this thing where we buy 3 bottles of something, and I keep one, he keeps one, and we share.
That's nice.
And if it's something that we absolutely love, then we kind of run back and stock up on some more. And this is one of the ones on the first sip. It is just bursting with flavor. It's regular Spice Tree on ridiculous amounts of steroids.
Yeah, absolutely. What was it, like a 10th year anniversary to the whole commotion of how Spice Tree originally, when it came out, was being boycotted because he was using, he was mixing up the different types of woods in one barrel, and they're like, you can't do that. So I think this was basically a 10th year anniversary, and they really put some crazy good liquid in it. So that's why it's so good. And I mean, it's their 10th year anniversary to something that they fought and they won. So it was a celebratory thing for John Glazer.
And to anybody watching that's not familiar with Compass Box and wants to get into something, I know this, I got mine for around 07 to 115, most of the bottles. I know it's not in everybody's price range, but if that is in your price range and you're willing to take a risk on something, this one is legit. And I can confidently say, I can't imagine somebody really just not liking it at all. Speaking of not liking anything at all, I know everybody's hesitant to talk about things that they just flat out don't like. And I'm not that guy. You guys have seen me in the comments, seen me, whatever. If I don't like something, I'm going to say that I don't like something. So I'm interested in what, and I'll say a couple things that I just flat out don't like, and some of them are unpopular. But what have you had that somebody couldn't pay you to drink?
You asking me or asking the readers?
Oh, I'm asking anybody, you and the reader. You could talk about you while the readers pitch in on their opinions.
Wow. So I'll talk while these people comment a little bit. But I'm into cognacs too, right? Mm-hmm. So you couldn't pay me to drink E&J brandy. Okay. I'm not familiar with that, but all right. We got Bullet coming in. We got Shove Head. I mean, I feel like that's okay. Everybody has their own opinion. Some people are going to. No, Chivas 12 is good. I'm going to say 3 things, and I know that one of them people are going to be pissed at me for saying. A lot of people love it. All right, so here's my 3 things that I just don't like. My absolute worst, number 1 worst, Johnny Walker Red. I will never, you can't pay me any amount of money to drink Johnny Walker Red. It is the only whiskey that I think can ruin Coke. It is just, I can't do it. I had it, I put it in ice and Coke, and it made the Coke taste bad. It was, no, I can't. So that's one. The second one, now I understand the brand is very popular, and some of the older stuff may be tremendous. I have no idea. But I've only had the 2-year, so I can only speak to the 2-year. And the Willet 2-year rye, I did not enjoy at all. And I tried. I waited 2 months. I tried it again. I waited another month. I tried it again. It was just not good every time. And I understand people love the Willet brand, and maybe the 4 years great, maybe the 3 years great, but the 2-year is, I can't take it. Especially for $50 is what I paid for it. It's just inexcusable that they could put that product on the shelf as far as I'm concerned.
And then, see, people, you're getting real honest opinions here. You're not getting fluff. I'm not sponsored by anybody, so.
Well, you're always honest. You're always honest, humble, down to earth, and you're open book. That's what I think people love about you, because you put yourself out. This is your first social media platform that you're on. Well, you put yourself out to who you are, which is incredible. Not too many people do that. A lot of people, social media, a lot of people paint a pretty picture to pretend to show the world who they are, that they're really not. That's the beauty about you. You're honest, open, and you put yourself out. I'm sure you push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone, but that's just natural. But everything else, that's I would say is your biggest asset, man, and you're great at it.
I appreciate that, and I know I'm not for everybody. I have a particular sense of humor, and I could be a little too edgy for some, and whatever. So I get it. I'm not for everybody, but I try not to blatantly offend anybody. But I'm gonna blatantly offend some people here just by saying the name. Here's one, man, and I'll be honest with you. I'm not a first try and give up on something. I tried this whiskey. I waited a month. My brother-in-law and I tried it again. We waited a couple more months. We tried it again. I tried this 3 times. And Tony, I'm sorry. I know you love it. That Eagle Rare, man. I can't take it. I can't take that Eagle Rare. Now, I've heard that some of the store picks, some of the private ones that are maybe varying in proof are legit and better. So I'll try one of those and I'll give it a try. But the stock on the shelf Eagle Rare that you see everywhere, man, can't do it.
Not your thing, huh?
No.
Hey, listen, that's why they make so many whiskeys, Everybody's got a different taste for it. There are people who go crazy over Eagle Rare. It's like unbelievable.
Speaking of stuff people go crazy over now, and you haven't had, because I watched your video, I forget who you did it with, but Henry McKenna, you need to try that. I mean, that's $30, $35, maybe 40, depending where you live, but that is one of the best value. If you like Monkey Shoulder for value, or if you like the Great King Street for value, or things like that, on the bourbon end, you're not going to find much better value than Henry McKenna, so you need to pick yourself up a bottle of that and give that a try. Okay.
Everybody, let's do it. Let's get out before Christmas, and let's toast, and let's grab a bottle of that and have a drink.
All right. So, what do we got in the comments here? Anybody saying anything? What do we got?
Oh man, there's a lot of comments. It's tough to catch up. So now's the pause. Go ahead and ask your questions so we can answer them.
Yeah.
We're gonna give it 30 seconds for questions to start rolling in.
Yeah, give us some questions. What do we got?
Thanks, Andy. I'll love to try McKenna. Just an ounce sample will be enough. Thank you. Everybody agrees with you on the McKenna.
No, I heard the hype, and I generally don't buy into the hype, and I tend to steer away from those. But I gave it a try, and all the talk's right. It's really good. Favorite part of being on IG? I'm not the most, I know Katie pretty well. We've talked a lot over the last year, but I'm kind of not the most social person in the world. And this is the one kind of area where I've kind of forced myself to be a little more social. So I've kind of really enjoyed the interaction with my followers. It's something that in my regular life I'm not used to. I'm not used to going out places, and I kind of avoid those situations. So it's been kind of cool getting to know everybody in a kind of environment that I can feel semi-comfortable in.
So somebody asked a sports question. Who has a better record, Niners or Seabirds?
Who has a better record, Niner? Oh, if that was Ray, I'm gonna be pissed.
That was Ray. Yeah, that was Ray.
Lost to the man.
Tom Parrott says, other than what you're drinking right now, what's your favorite Compass box? I'm still fairly new to them. So now, Tom, that can be answered 2 different ways. One, it can be something rare, which is our favorite, or something like available each day that you can go to a shelf and find it. For me personally, I got into Compass box because of Peat Monster. That was my first try of peat, and I fell in love with it, and that's I grew my fondness of peat because of it. Some people hate it, some people love it, so it's just one of those things. But I love the Peat Monster if you want something that's peaty and smoky. How about you, Brian?
Peat Monster was one of the first Compass boxes that I had, actually, but readily available. Again, it is a little more pricey, but the Extravaganza and the double single are both amazing.
But they're hard to find, right? They're so rare. I mean, most stores don't carry it, and now it's extinct. You can't even get it now.
They are. Even the regular Spice Tree at $45.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Yeah.
I enjoy the regular Spice Tree.
Yeah.
It's not the Extravaganza. Okay, it's not the Extravaganza, but if you've never had the Extravaganza and you start with the Spice Tree is very enjoyable.
Well, they have that sampler pack now, right? The new sampler pack they came out with has the Story of the Spaniard. I believe it has Spice Tree and Peat Monster. So those are three staples that with 50 mLs that somebody could try and say, figure out what type of person they are when it comes to whiskey and Compass Box in general. So.
And I gotta try that Spaniard. That's the only one from that.
Oh, I gotta send you some then.
Yeah, sure. But if you're going, if everybody has different budgets, whatever. If you're going with some like money's not an object to you or whatever, that 3-year deluxe they put out, that's really nice too. I really enjoy that. There's.
Do you know the story behind that?
What do you got?
The 3-year. Actually, I was with Whiskey and Nowadays Mike yesterday, and he explained a little further on it. And my memory's a little vague because I was drinking a lot yesterday for a holiday dram night. That instead of being there, you're here with me today, so I appreciate that. But I did invite you yesterday, 4 months in a row. That was funny as hell. Your post about how this came about was funny as hell.
I mean,
the 3-year-old is basically. The Scotch Whisky Society said, you can't post this, you can't post that, you got to post a minimum age, whatever. So John Glazer put, I want to say like a 0.75% 3-year-old in that whiskey.
Yep.
Like, I don't remember the exact statistics, but it was like something like that. 0.75%, a 3-year-old whiskey in there. So he could put the number 3 on the bottle, but everything else in that bottle is over 30 years old.
Yep. I know. Just to stick it to, I absolutely love the story.
Love that. Love that.
Itself, if you have a chance to try it, it is. I mean, I'm sure you probably have, but if anybody is,
I was having it last night.
It's really good. It's so well balanced. To me, it's like the Extravaganza with a hint of heat and a little bit of smokiness. It's really nice. Yeah. And it comes in the.
And it says 3 Deluxe.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes in the cool case and everything. So.
Right. Yeah, very few of the Compass boxes come in this kind of case. And I own 4 that come in this kind of case. But yeah, I love these cases. I want to try to figure out, and people watching, does anybody know where to get more of these cases? I would love to get them just for other stuff. I think they're great. I mean, they're obviously designed for Compass box. Some of the wider bottles like Macallan's won't fit in it. But I'm curious to try to find more of those, just to add more Compass boxes in them. And it protects the bottle.
Your bar there looks like heaven. I agree. That is that setup is very.
Yeah, this is my little mini bar, and my basement has the full. But this is like my little showcase, and it has basically only Compass box and Macallan's in them.
Oof. Oh, speaking of Macallan's, my my glass is empty. Are you ready to move on to?
Let's do it, brother.
All right.
Are we going with the green lightning?
Let's go, man.
My single malt pick for gifting for the holidays. I talked about this the other day with BK2323, and yeah, this is amazing. And he actually said the same thing. We both unplanned agreed to it. That he said that this is his best. He's gone through 4 bottles already since this came out.
Now, this glass that I've got here.
You have a different glass for everyone, huh? That's nice. I like that.
Whiskey 86 just sent me this last week. It's kind of like a Christmas present. So thank you, Tony. It's really, really awesome. He's got here.
This is our last dram probably in here. So cheers to everybody who's on here. Would love to see what you guys are drinking. And since I posted this on YouTube, no rush on this. But if you DM me a selfie of yourself holding a bottle of what you were drinking tonight while watching this, I will include those pictures at the end of the YouTube video when this goes on YouTube. I did it for a couple of them. I don't do it for all of them. But this is a special occasion with Brian being on. So I would love to have you guys send some DM pictures. Send to me and Brian if you want. But I will take some of those pictures and post them at the end of the YouTube video.
right.
holding a bottle. Selfie with a bottle.
I'll do the same. I'll put them all in my stories as well.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, put them on stories. I like that.
Yeah.
You know what do? You guys take a picture and tag us in your stories. But if you DM us, it'll be DM me. It'll be cleaner picture I can post on YouTube. This is so damn good, right?
It has what I love about the editions. Each one is so unique, but this one, to me, it actually reminds me of the classic cut a little bit with the sherry influence on it.
Traditional, authentic Macallan.
Yeah, the number 2 used to be my favorite, and then I tried all 4 together, and the number 1 was better than I remembered it being. So the number 1, 2, and 4. The 3 is still very good. It's just not, to me, on the level of the other 3.
I'm putting my sweater back on. I'm getting cold.
Nice.
I haven't stopped it.
Yeah, we don't need those nips out.
Going back festive.
All right, so here's what I want to do. We got about 31 people still in this thing, 30 people. I'll do another 2-ounce sample of this. You can give away something if you want or not.
I'll give away the extravaganza. So we'll do, he's going to, for this one here, this question here, you're going to get a sample of this and another 2-ounce pour of the limited release toasted barrel and another tonight's poison pin.
All right. So do you have a question or do you want me to come up with something?
No, come up with something. You're the guest. You're the guest. You got to give the honor to you.
All right. We'll go with, my page has a lot of different stuff. It has some sarcastic whiskey reviews. It has some pictures that aren't as good as everybody else's. I mean, just so you know, all my pictures, iPhone 7. I have an iPhone 7, and I use 2 apps to help edit the pictures. So I'm kind of just trying to do the best I can. And I know, like, Least I Have Whiskey and From Barrel to Bottle, they do some amazing stuff. And
Oh, my God, yeah.
I can't compete with that. So I just try to put up some decent pictures and make funny captions. But one thing that I do that's a little unique is bottle breaking. So to anybody that has watched my bottle breaking videos, I got a trivia question for you. I've done a bow and arrow. I've done an axe. I've done baseball a few times. I've done
Sword?
sword is actually my favorite video, that slow motion sword video.
Love that, yeah.
But
around that time is when I think, I don't know how long it was. What was that? How long ago was that video posted?
that was about April-ish of this.
Around that time is when I became a fan.
All right, cool. Well,
You know, I was following you, but I became a fan.
around the time that my page started to take off a little bit and I started to gain like 20 followers a day was when I did a video. It was my first bottle breaking video. So if anybody's going back and watched all my bottle breaking videos, my first bottle breaking video, I didn't break the bottle. And it was a bad throw with a baseball. But I hit something. And what did I hit? First person to put what I hit gets a 2-ounce sample. And it can't be you, non-chill. You already won one.
So someplace says a golf ball, baseball. You broke your phone.
Tony in there, quick. I broke my phone with the baseball. And Ray was...
Katie was right behind. And my grand was right behind. There was a lot of people who got it right. That's amazing.
And that was legitimately my phone. Like, that was the phone that I used every day. That's the phone that I needed. I just had a terrible throw, destroyed it with the baseball. All right, Tony, you get some.
So Tony got it. Tony got it. But 57G, DM me. I'm gonna send you tonight's poison pin if you guys want it. McGram, I'll send you a pin also. So you guys all got the answer right. Well, you guys are all winners. We'll send you a pin anyway. Ray Cop, send Katie, send you tonight's poison pin. And if I have some glasses left, maybe I'll throw 1 or 2 in there or some mixed stuff in there too. But listen, looks like we have about believe it or not, less than 10 minutes left.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. It went by quick, right? Wasn't bad, right?
It did. That's what she said. But no, it was good. You
before we continue with anything else, and I'll let you close it out for us in a few minutes. But I do want to get into how'd you get into this as far as whiskey, just in general. Like, you know, how did this come about for you? And tell us about your background a little bit as far as getting into this side of passion.
All right, so it's funny for me. I didn't drink anything until I was like 23 years old. Never had a drop of anything. I got married at 24. At my wedding reception was the first time.
So like 3 years ago.
First time I was drunk in my life was my wedding reception. Just trying to fit in with my wife's friends. So that's the alcohol beginning for me. But then it took many years. Like that, I was just a stereotypical like Jack and Coke or whatever, that kind of drink. Then about 4 years ago, actually, it's only been about 4 years, my brother-in-law introduced me to some whiskey. I was a rum and Coke guy or a rum and Dr. Pepper guy. That was kind of my thing. That's what I enjoyed, and I still enjoy rum. But because of his friendship and his influence, I geared toward the whiskey. He introduced me to whiskey. He made Manhattans, so we'd watch Netflix shows like whatever, House of Cards or whatever, and he'd make Manhattans for both of us, and I'd try it. And he started pulling back on the vermouth till it was like almost just a glass of whiskey with a cherry in it. So that's kind of what started me into whiskey. It was that the first whiskey I remember having was Bird Dog Blackberry, which who even, if that's whiskey, not, but it's that, and then some JD Tennessee Honey, like the stuff that people start with. And the first legitimate whiskey that I remember having that I took a chance on was Glenlivet Nadora Oloroso, and I used to put a giant ice cube in that and just dilute it like crazy, which I can't believe I used to do at this point, because now I love it neat. I still love that whiskey. I haven't had it for a while, but that's kind of what got me rolling. So I did the natural progression. I had the flavored whiskeys, and then I moved on to putting ice in my whiskey, and then I tried like Stag Junior with some water and some ice and whatever, because that one was super abrasive. And then I just got to the point that for the last 3 years, I drink everything neat, and I appreciate and enjoy it that way. But I feel like that's the progression most people have. And on Instagram, when I'm scrolling through the feeds and looking at the whiskey hashtags, and I see people posting JD Tennessee Honey, I mean, that's where I started. So you can like a post like that. So you
Jack and Coke, baby, Jack and Coke.
You can reach out to that guy and say, hey man, looks like you're getting started on the journey and whatever. And that guy might end up being a follower, and you might end up making a friend down the road or whatever. But it's that's how I started. That's how I think a lot of people start. They mix stuff with Coke, and then they have it on the rocks, and then they start throwing it in the glass neat, and then they end up where we are. Or maybe they always like it on the rocks, like Simply in the Flavor. I know she always likes her stuff on the rocks regardless, and she'll probably always be that way. That's cool too, however you like it. So that's kind of my whiskey story. That's kind of how I started and how I ended up where I am.
Very cool. So guys, 5-minute warning. Any questions, now's the time. Please post your questions. We're going to look at primarily the chat and answer as much questions as possible.
Yeah.
And what's everybody drinking today? If you don't have a question, at least post, what are you drinking today? DM us a picture with a selfie. It's going to end up on the YouTube video. A lot of comments. Let's see, coming through. Drink responsibly, absolutely, 100% always. Why do you think we're not meeting at a bar? The reason we're not meeting at a bar is because then we have to drive home afterwards.
And stay hydrated, for real. You always got to have. I drink so much water when I drink, and that's thanks to my brother.
Water, food, drinks. Water, food, drinks. That's the science.
No, he doesn't post anything. His handle is Compass Box Cliff. I made a post for him every year, but my brother-in-law's Compass Box Cliff. He's the one that got me into whiskey, and you can follow him. He makes awesome furniture and stuff. But what's your favorite glass to drink whiskey neat out of? What do you got, Jazz?
Definitely lightly glass, because the way it's designed, it's scientifically proven to just enhance the experience. One, first of all, you can go to the Denver Lively video that I posted on my YouTube channel, same name, Tonight's Poison, so you can look into it. But design the glass so you can hold it like this, a lot easier to warm up the whiskey, and versus like this, okay? So the science behind whiskeys, just so you guys know, I'm going to make it really quick on this one, is the fact that whiskey is similar, has pores like we have, obviously our body does. When you have heat and like steam or hot water, your pores open up. Whiskey opens up too. So if you throw a little hot water in there instead of ice does the reverse action. Throw a little bit of a drop of hot water or warm water in there, it opens up the pores. And warming it up this way also helps. So the glass was designed that way. And then this is one of the only glasses, or very few glasses, that you can nose and drink at the same time. So you're nosing and sipping at the same time. And that is brilliant. Once you try it side by side, there's no going back.
Yeah, and I've got to try that glass because I think you have the same issue as me. We don't have the smallest noses in the world, so there ain't no way we're getting this nose in.
I'm Indian. The God gave India mangoes and big noses.
Yeah. I know G Hard said he was having some Four Roses. We have what do we got? Somebody else said they had something. I missed it. But my favorite glass, I do go with the traditional Glencairn. I haven't tried the Denver glass. I would like to try that. And to be honest, I'm not a snob about it. If it's something I'm trying for the first time, I typically like to have it in this. But if it's something that I know that I like if I'm just having a couple glasses of
any glass, right? Yeah.
Any rocks glass will do. I just throw it in there and whatever. It's no big deal.
Someone's having Four Roses single barrel. Somebody likes to drink neat at 98.6 temperature, which is nice. But guys, listen, we got about 2-3 minutes left to wrap up. I really want to thank Brian he's in his element here, but to start this live, he was putting himself out of his element. So this is huge for me to be able to have Brian on. I respect him as a human being, as a person, as a comedian, as an Instagrammer, as a family man, because he posts a lot about his family too. And as somebody who can kind of not get blind by shattering bottles and break glasses all the time. So this toast is to you. Everybody raise your glasses at home. To Brian, to an amazing dude. Amazing 2018 to you, brother. And I know 2019 is going to be an even better one for you.
Hey, man.
Cheers, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I'll let you close it out, and we'll just let it phase out in 2 minutes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me on, obviously, first. You know how many times I've turned you down for events, man. And I appreciate that you have not given up on me. I've been called antisocial my whole life. I deal with a lot of anxiety every day, and it's tough. And I know a lot of people out there deal with the same stuff. So hopefully you can relate. And this was very much out of my comfort zone. And you helped me get there. And you dealt with a lot of messages today of me trying to get myself comfortable. And I really appreciate what you did for me. And everybody out there that was watching, I appreciate you all very much. From following my page, I don't just say it. I care about all of you, and I respond to all of your comments. I legitimately want to make connections with you and care about you. So thank you for following my page. Thank you for watching this live feed. And I hope it wasn't boring is really the only thing.
Oh, it definitely was not.
I didn't.
We got 25 seconds and this is phasing off. We got a timer coming.
Cheers to everybody out there.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you. Happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Please send your pictures so we can post on our stories. Anybody took a screenshots of any of this 24 hours, it's going to be on there. Please. And cheers to you.